On October 20th, Bryan Laundrie's skeletal remains as well as some of his belongings were found in a park in an area that had recently been underwater due to flooding. The cause of death could not be determined and his remains were given to an anthropologist for further examination. This event marked the end of an expensive hunt for Bryan Laundrie that had involved the local state as well as the FBI, spanning as far as Mexico and Canada and even other countries around the world. If you are not familiar with this case, here's a quick refresher. It all began on June 2nd, 2021, when Gabby Petito and Bryan Laundrie embarked on their cross-country road trip in their white Ford Transit van. They set sail from Gabby's Long Island home and started to chronicle their new life on social media. Everything was going well until a bystander noticed a particular couple fighting, with the man slapping the woman. The bystander swiftly reported the incident to the local police near Moab, Utah. The local police shortly pulled over their van. The two people having an argument, as you might have guessed, were none other than Gabby Petito and Bryan Laundrie. The police separated the young couple, giving the van's keys to Gabby and driving Bryan to a nearby hotel for the night. Afterwards, the couple reconnected and continued their travels. Unfortunately, that would be the last recorded sightings of Bryan Laundrie and Gabby Petito alive. On September 1st, Bryan Laundrie returned back home to Florida, but without Gabby. On September 11, Gabby's family reported her missing to the police after not establishing contact with her. Plus, at that point, her social media activity had all but ceased. On September 19th, police discovered Gabby's remains. Later, the coroner had ruled that Gabby had died of asphyxiation. At that point, Bryan Laundrie became the main person of interest. Local, state police, and the FBI launched an all-out search for Bryan Laundrie. According to his parents, Bryan left the family home and went to a nearby preserve. And then, on October 20th, police found Bryan's skeletal remains along with his backpack and his notebook in an area that was until recently submerged underwater. So, what exactly happened to Bryan Laundrie? At the time of this video, the cause of death has not yet been established. Let's take a look at some of the theories that may explain Bryan's tragic demise. Theory number 1. He went to the preserve as a way to escape the hunt and then fell prey to alligators or other wild animals. From the start, everyone assumed that instead of surrendering to law enforcement, Bryan would decide to go on the run and start a new life somewhere else. This theory was strengthened by the fact that his parents refused to speak to anyone, including the local police and the FBI, about their son's whereabouts. Since he had some experience when it came to surviving outdoors and knew the immediate area well, the thought of him living in the wilderness wasn't such a far-fetched idea. Unfortunately, his remains were discovered in a remote area that was previously underwater, infested with huge alligators, and thus it makes sense to assume that his body may have been attacked by them or some other wild animals. Theory number 2. He died as a result of starvation, poisoning, or something else, and then the alligators or other hungry animals finished him off. Another theory is that Bryan may have greatly overestimated his ability to survive in the wild and may have run out of food and/or water and succumbed to nature. Then animals did the rest. The fact that Brian was only 22 years old or so certainly could mean that he wasn't very experienced when it came to living outdoors and may have committed a mistake that would eventually cost him his life. Theory number 3. He committed suicide. As a result of this case getting national publicity, unlike the majority of cases that happened that year, everyone was on the lookout for Brian or anyone even remotely resembling him. It's hard to truly grasp the magnitude of the feeling and the hopelessness when the entire country and maybe even the world is searching for you, and knowing that he couldn't hide much longer, he decided to take his own life. This is definitely one of the most credible theories, and it remains to be seen with the examination of Brian's remains. Theory number 4. He was killed by an unknown third party and left to die. In my view, this is one of the least likely theories, since his remains were discovered in a very remote area not really inhabited by humans. Moreover, Brian was definitely worth more alive than dead. Maybe he got shot by a fellow hiker, camper, outdoorsman, or a serial killer for a completely unrelated reason, perhaps a robbery gone wrong type of thing. Or maybe he got into an altercation with a person he had already known, maybe even the same person he was actually traveling with. Sure, this theory is a long shot, but we can't completely rule it out. So that is why I decided to include it here. At the time of this video, the investigation is still ongoing. Thus, it's not yet clear how long his remains were in the area, nor how he actually died. Hopefully, in the next several weeks, we'll have answers to those questions and more. And there you have it, the sad ending to the saga that captured America and really the entire world. Although Bryan Laundrie was definitely the main suspect in the death of Gabby Petito, and many more people wanted him to suffer the same fate as his companion, it would have been much better to put him on trial and let the justice system determine his punishment. That way, we would have at least have a chance to learn exactly why and how Gabby's life was taken, something that will now forever remain a mystery. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you enjoy videos such as this one, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. I have a lot more interesting cases to share with you in the near future.